Today's lesson is all about respecting different preferences. People are different. They prefer different things. They have different preferences. You'll learn that having empathy can help you to understand and respect when people have different preferences than we have. That's okay. What you prefer has everything to do with your likes, your comfort, your experiences, what you've done and seen in the past. Raise your hand if you like to walk outside when it's raining. Sometimes? Never? People have different preferences. They prefer to do different things at different times. And that's okay. This is a bar graph. We're going to play a game called the human bar graph. It's about different preferences. Rule number 1, if you hear something that you always like to do, stand up. Rule number 2, if you hear something that you sometimes like to do or sort of like to do, sit in a chair. Rule number 3, if you hear something that you never like to do, sit down on the floor or squat real low. Okay, are you ready? Do you always, sometimes, or never like to eat broccoli? Oh, do you always, sometimes, or never like to have waffles for breakfast? Do you always, sometimes, or never like to climb a tree? Okay. Do you always, sometimes, or never like to clean your room? One more. Do you always, sometimes, or never like to play by yourself? Okay. Do you think everybody has the same preferences that you have? No, of course not. We all have different preferences. We're all comfortable with different things. And that's okay. That's good. Let's learn about two students who have different preferences. Here are Tiana and Brandon. They're science partners. Today, they're looking at worms in science, and their assignment is to pick up the worm and to study its body parts. How do you think Brandon is feeling? What clues help you to know that Brandon isn't comfortable with this assignment? Right, his face is giving away lots of clues. Do you think Tiana feels the same way that Brandon feels? No, she sure doesn't. She's excited. She's really interested in looking at the worm. That poor little wormy. I think I would feel about how Brandon feels. I'm not comfortable picking up a little. I would feel almost like I would hurt the worm. That would not be comfortable for me. I don't know that I would feel disgusted. I think I would feel a little bit sad or a little squeamish. I would feel a little sorry for the worm maybe. But we have different preferences, and that's okay. It's good to know that there are different preferences. And it's good to have a partner like Tiana who isn't afraid, because she could help. Maybe help you understand the body parts of a worm even though you are not comfortable touching it. Luckily, Tiana notices how Brandon's feeling. She thinks he's feeling disgusted and maybe scared by the worm, by having to touch the worm, and she wants to check to see if she's right. So she says to him, Brandon, it looks like you're feeling disgusted by the worm. Do you want to hold it? And Brandon shakes his head. No, 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 no. Now, Tiana is using her empathy, isn't she? She understands what it feels like, what somebody else is feeling, and she's using Brandon's body clues and his face to help her empathize and understand how Brandon is feeling. She has compassion for Brandon because she wants him to enjoy learning about the worm and enjoy the science activity, but she's not going to make him hold the worm. She said to Brandon, "Look, I'll hold it if you want to look at the different body parts. Look at how cool it is." This is how Tiana shows compassion. Compassion is empathy, but doing something about the empathy that you have. It's being compassionate. So today we learned about different preferences. People can have different preferences. They prefer different things. That is perfectly fine. Having empathy helps you notice and understand preferences and that preferences change. It's okay to be friends with somebody and get along as long as you respect their different preferences.